The morning I turned 80, I picked up a brand new box of cereal, looked at that cheerful cartoon bird on the front, and dropped it straight in the trash. Didn't even open it. My daughter walked in and said, "Mama, have you lost your mind?" Maybe I had, but that was the morning I started getting it back. I'm 102 years old, and I've watched breakfast kill people. Slowly, quietly, politely, one colorful bowl at a time. Before I go any further, there's something I need to tell you, something that took me over 50 years to understand. The thing they really stole from you every morning isn't what you think it is. I'll get to it. But I need to take you somewhere first. They need you helpless in the morning. Always have. Listen to that alarm, that hollow mechanical shriek that pulls you out of sleep before your body's ready. That sound isn't waking you up. It's ringing the dinner bell, not for you, but for them. For the companies that figured out, somewhere around 1944, that if they could own your morning, they could own your day. You wake up half-conscious, still wrapped in fog, and what do? Pure reflex. You pour that bowl. Bright colors, cartoon mascots, part of a complete breakfast, the box says. Lord knows what that means. You call it cereal. I call it a paid ticket to a slow decline. And the worst part? You bought it on their schedule, every single week, without ever once asking who sold it to you or why. I was born in 1923, and in 1923, nobody was eating fluorescent corn puffs for breakfast. You know what we ate? Eggs from chickens you could hear outside the window. Leftover beans from supper the night before. Sometimes black coffee and nothing else. And nobody made a fuss about it. Nobody collapsed at noon. I watched the whole transformation happen. Watched them take honest wheat and grind it into powder that barely remembered what it once was. Poured in sugar, then more sugar, then synthetic dye, because children make good customers. And then I watched doctors go on the radio and call it healthy. I was young then, and even I thought, something don't add right here. You want to know when breakfast is the most important meal of the day became gospel? 1944. A marketing campaign. General Foods, selling Great Nuts cereal. That's the whole story. The sacred origin of the ritual you've been performing every morning of your life. A cereal company needed to move product. 80 years later, you're still dancing to their tune. Every expert who told you I was wrong is dead and gone. I'm still here. Now let me tell you what that bowl is actually doing inside you. Your pancreas, that quiet, loyal organ, doesn't know the difference between breakfast cereal and straight table sugar. It sees glucose flooding in and panics. Fires off insulin fast and hard. Your blood sugar rockets. For 40 minutes, maybe 45, you feel sharp, awake. See, you think? Breakfast works. That 40 minutes is exactly what they're selling you. Then the crash. The kind that settles into your brain like wet concrete. Foggy. Irritable. Reaching for something sweet by 10 in the morning because your body is screaming for another hit. You think you're hungry. You're not hungry. You're running a cycle they designed for you. Your body knows the difference. It always has. It just stopped trusting itself because you stopped listening. My husband Earl, God rest his soul, he used to say that a woman who knows how to feed herself knows how to take care of everything else too. He wasn't a philosopher. He was a farmer. But that man was right about more things than he ever got credit for. I cooked eggs in the same cast iron pan for 60 years, hot enough to make the air above it shimmer. I'd crack those eggs and you'd hear that sharp, decisive snap of the shell, then the sizzle as it hit the iron, and the whole house would wake up. Not from an alarm, from something real. Those yolks were deep gold, almost orange. You could taste the difference. You could feel it sitting in your stomach like something that had a right to be there. Not that hollow fullness you get from cereal, where you're full but still somehow empty an hour later. I started every morning with a glass of cold water and a pinch of sea salt. That first swallow, there's a sharpness to it, something waking up below the surface. Not the jittery wakefulness of sugar, something that came from inside you, not from a box. Your body knows how to wake up. It always knew. Here's the part that costs nothing and contradicts everything they built. Sometimes the best breakfast is no breakfast at all. Your body already knows how to fast. It's been doing it every night while you sleep. That overnight quiet isn't emptiness. That's repair. That's your gut closing old wounds, resetting chemistry, finishing work it couldn't do while it was busy digesting your supper. When you wake up and immediately flood that system with processed sugar, you're ringing a bell in the middle of surgery. I had a neighbor, good woman, name of Shirley, 84 years old. Cream of wheat and orange juice every single morning of her life, same as religion. By the time she turned 60, she was on medication for her blood sugar. Still is, far as I know. Still eats her cream of wheat. I say that as a woman who took 50 years to arrive at the same conclusion, so I don't mean it harshly. They need you helpless in the morning. A woman who can go until noon on water and her own clarity is a woman they cannot sell to. That is why they never once told you this was an option. Now, remember what I said at the start, that there was something they really stole from you? Something deeper than metabolism? Here it is. What I finally understood around age 75, sitting in a doctor's office, being told my blood work looked better than women half my age. What they stole was your trust in your own body. That's the real theft. They taught you to distrust hunger, to fear the feeling of an empty stomach, to believe that without their product, you would fall apart before noon. They made you dependent, not just on the food, but on the idea that your body is fundamentally broken and needs correcting every single morning. You internalize that. Most people carry it their whole lives without once questioning it. But your body knows. It has always known. I've had the same body for 102 years. It has never once needed a cartoon on a box to tell it what to do. I just had to stop drowning out what it was saying. I wasn't just throwing away a box of cereal when I was 80. I was reclaiming the right to trust myself. That was what I'd lost. And that quiet Tuesday morning in my kitchen, I started getting it back. The sun is going to come up tomorrow. You can pour the bowl, 40 minutes of borrowed energy, and the rest of the day on a leash. Or you can pause. Drink some cold water. Let your body finish the work it started overnight. Eat something real when you're actually hungry, and see what the day feels like from there. I'm 102. I don't have a book to sell. No supplements, no program. Just a cast iron pan older than most of your parents, and a long view that only comes from standing at the far end of a long road. They need you helpless in the morning. The moment you stop being helpless, they lose you. I want to ask you something honest, not as a lecture. I'm too old for those. Did you actually choose what you eat every morning? Or did someone choose it for you before you were old enough to think it through? And if you got quiet enough to hear your own body, what do you think it would ask for? I've been sitting with that question for over 20 years. I'm still finding answers. And at 102, I'm grateful I started asking.